Hello, I'm Elif and this is a recap for episode 42 of the series One Love, 24 hours after Turkey and before dubbed for TV. Mustafa is shocked to see his father at the meeting place. Last night, Olev contacted Abdullah and asked about his message. Abdullah said he didn't send any messages, and Olev replied, "It's your wife's doing. She wants to catch your match." Abdullah scolds Mustafa and says, "All of this is under your wife's influence. Isn't it?" Mustafa takes matters into his own hands and tells his father that he wants to protect his mother, and after seeing Olev with Abdullah multiple times, he becomes suspicious. Abdullah, with frustration, says, "Everything you saw was accidental. Get a hold of yourself." Olev asks Ruzgar to have breakfast together and once again, without preamble, says, "Let's get engaged." Ruzgar hesitates but eventually agrees. Omid explains the incident of the locksmith to Nusama the next day. Nusama becomes upset, but she tells Omid that no one would believe he could do such a thing. Omid explains that they have little money to pay the bills, and life is genuinely difficult. Still, he finds a way to solve everything. Kahan loses his money in the stock market again, and Laman goes to see Omar, asking for help. After scolding Laman thoroughly, Omar, seeing her desperate, tells her that Kahan should come to see him tomorrow. Metahan accepts Mary's request on Instagram. Mary immediately sends him a message, inquiring about his well-being. Metahan replies kindly. Abdullah, under the pretext of discussing Mustafa and Nilay's affair, asks Olev to meet, and he takes her to a restaurant on his recreational boat. Olev tells Abdullah that to avoid further problems, she officially proposes. She confesses to Abdullah that she's angry with him for being so cowardly. Abdullah says, "I know. If I knew it would turn out like this, I would never have poured my heart out to you." Olev asks Abdullah not to come to her wedding celebration. Abdullah apologizes, saying, "I'm sorry, Olev. I didn't know I upset you so much." At night, Nusama gives her gold to Omid and tells him to sell them to solve their problems. Omid, feeling very sorry, cries, and Nusama hugs him, saying, "We should be happy now. Because we're in love." Ertuğrul informs Mary that they have been invited to Kızılcık's house the next day. Mary immediately calls Kayman and asks her to invite Metahan as well. Omar recounts the day's events to Boker at night. Boker asks him to hire Kahan at the company so that he can always keep an eye on him. Metahan overhears Omar's conversation and asks him who he is talking to. Omar says it's no one, but Metahan is suspicious and keeps a concerned eye on him. At night, when Doa tries to dry her hair, she realizes the hairdryer is not working. Fatih is also unable to turn it on, so he brings an old hairdryer from the guest room and dries Doa's hair himself to prevent any harm to her. Doa sheds tears of relief. Ruzgar goes to the Sonmez house early the next morning and announces that the engagement ceremony has been set, but the wedding will take place in Italy a few months later. Olev is very happy about the news. Kahan goes to see Omar, and Omar tells him that he won't give him any money. Instead, he pays off his debts and hires him there. Kahan is very pleased and thanks him. At night, Doa goes out to see her friends, and Fatih not only doesn't object but also compliments Doa on her outfit. He asks her to enjoy herself and not worry about Cemre because she is taking care of her. In contrast, Pembe scolds Doa and, after her departure, rebukes Fatih thoroughly. Boker warns Omar about the closeness between Kızılcık and Ertuğrul. Omar says, "I just want Kızılcık to be happy." Boker asks, "Do you want the woman you love to marry another man? Is this a movie? Go talk to her before it's too late." At night, Ertuğrul, Mary, and Metahan are at Kızılcık's house, spending good times together. Metahan tells Ertuğrul, "Brother, you're a cool guy. Just like my dad." Kızılcık is lost in thought. After the party ends, Mary and Kayman talk to their parents about Kızılcık and Ertuğrul, saying they get along well, but both Kızılcık and Ertuğrul are angered by these discussions. Pembe goes to Abdullah's room and suggests they should think about a gift for Olev's wedding. Abdullah says they won't attend the ceremony, but Pembe insists they should go and show Olev that she couldn't break them. Abdullah becomes annoyed. Following Olev's suggestion, Nusama visits Ruzgar to discuss work. Ruzgar recognizes Nusama's talent and asks her to engage in the arts department. Doa and Olev go shopping for the wedding dress. Doa is visibly bored and unenthusiastic, and Olev struggles to explain the reason to her. Omid decides to sell the gold, contemplating his options. He contacts one of his wealthy clients, a famous couple named Idris, and discusses a tempting proposition with them. Omid involves Nusama in the plan, and she does not object. At night, the Onal family discusses Olev's wedding during dinner. Doa shows everyone Olev's photo in a wedding dress, making Abdullah feel sad. Omar sends double photos of himself and Kızılcık to her house. Alone at night, Kızılcık tearfully looks at the pictures and tears them apart. On the other side, Omar feels uneasy and prays for help. In their room, Fatih tells Doa that he has decided to agree to whatever she wants because he's tired of these games. He promises to agree to anything she desires. Doa immediately says, "Let's get married." Knowing that Doa intends to gain custody of Cemre, Fatih, upset, leaves the room. The next morning, Abdullah, hearing Zulgaz talk about lost love, reflects on his memories with Olev. Omar visits the doctor, who, upon seeing his pictures, recommends surgery due to the advanced stage of his illness. The doctor suggests they try their only chance and proceed with the surgery, with a success rate of only 10%. Abdullah goes to Olev's house and abruptly asks her not to get married. Olev looks at him in surprise, and Abdullah continues, "I'm getting a divorce." Thank you for watching, stay tuned for the next episode.